All right. So, hi, welcome to my channel. For those who are new, my name is Jose. It's funny how I'm doing this because I feel like I have to share this. Okay. So, um, this goes around many things. This applies to many things, but one of the things I realize is figuring out what's inside. So, sorry, my name is Jose. Welcome to my channel. I do a bunch of things, music, astrology, all that stuff. I'm about to head to bed, as you can probably see here. Well, not that that means anything. I'm being random. Okay. It's one of those things. But anyways, I wanted to share one little thing. Well, maybe it's not a little thing. Um, I was just watching this video about the whole, when we look for life, look for meaning in life, and we want to get somewhere. And you probably heard it many, many, many times already. It's like trying to find happiness outside of yourself, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Um, One thing I notice is that as I go through life, I realize that I still kind of do that, and I still, buy things or find love in relationships or those kind of things. But I realize that the reason I have them in the first place is because I have that potential and it becomes reality because I choose to make it a reality. I make it a belief in myself through practicing that belief and making it an everyday thing. Even if it's not perfect, even if it's not perfected, doesn't matter. The point is, I make it a practice to be in that state of I'm choosing to feel and be in that state that I want to be, not because someone told me or anything like that. But what's underlying there is that ever since I've been doing it, ever since I've gone into the things that I've gotten into, um, I've always had this instinctive drive or intuitive instinctive drive. It's a mix of why I'm doing it. When I say why, I don't necessarily mean like my reasons, but rather what is it about the there's this inner this thing, this inner knowing that it's just, for example, like when it comes to music, like when I play notes, I try to give every single note, I pour into it, the emotion that it's like, because I'm not only present with the notes, it's because I know that it's like this sort of potential that has become reality, if that makes any sense. What I mean by that is, we're infinite beings, right? For those who have heard this already, great. If you haven't, that's what I see a lot. That's the aspect, that's the main thing, that you are infinite, as Bashar puts it. So what's the rush, right? You are infinite. So it's almost like trying to put in all the power that is in the infinite into one little this form. But because of that, there's a reason why we want to strive for things. There's a reason why we want to have purpose. There's a reason why we want to do what we want to do because we're achieving something, because we know deep inside that it's already there. So this is why we hear things like about manifestation, believe that it's already there. But those are processes. I find that when we practice that actual belief of if I just pour my intentions into what I'm saying, into what I'm doing, into how I'm playing, in terms of how I communicate, what I touch, when I'm hugging someone, when I'm drinking water, it does tie into being present, but that's basically what it is. When you're being present, there's something inside, there's something there that's the inner knowing that when we do that and we become present through it, we start to realize, whoa, there's this inner, like, call it magic, whatever it is, power, magic, whatever it is, it's there. And so, I think it's just, And this is why when it comes to social media or anything that's like that will be distracting, I'm still learning from that. I'm being told by a love interest that, that I should go out into nature. I should be out there. And he's right. And so, because in nature we find the truth within because it brings us to that moment, not necessarily because it's silent, but because there's that sort of so-called silence or peace that is there that helps us get in touch with that infiniteness in this form and realize, oh, right? So the intention I feel comes through when we out, pour out, or pour into what we do because we're so present, we're so connected. So that's my little thing for today. I just wanted to share this video specifically because there's nothing even in uh, astrology that would show this. But even in astrology, when you pour your energies in, especially when it resonates with you, go with that. Go with that whole, it resonates with you. Does it resonate with you? And go with the feeling and then go with the belief. And it's like, okay, why am I doing this in the first place? Right? What is it for? Because there's a part of me that's still, oh, there's a bit there. Or when I do astrology, sometimes I want to show people, oh, I do astrology. Or I'm special. I specialize in asteroids and all that stuff. That doesn't matter. What matters is, are you having fun? Do you want to pour your energy into that? Now, technically, there is something in astrology. It's usually tied to the sun. Of course, that's a big one, but it's also Mars. It's also the first house. I would say it's also the fifth house. So I would say it's a lot of the fire houses, the first house, the fifth house, and the ninth house. But either way, it doesn't matter. Um, Even the most docile person, even when they don't have anything in those houses, they will still find a way. There's still something in there that it's like, oh, I want to pour myself into this one. And that's not going to show up in the chart, really. There's no specific placement that is going to show that. It's a matter of discovering that. Although I would say there's always something there. So the point is, I'm making this video is part of having astrology, part of having fun with astrology, and even other things in life, of course. It could be many, 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 many different things. Is Are you pouring your energy into it, asking yourself why? Where is your belief in there? Where does that come from? Why are you doing this? Like meaning not exactly the reason, but the energy behind it. I'm actually kneeling here as I'm recording this one because I'm getting ready to bed. So, anyways, I thought I'd just share that. If you have any comments, questions, type them below. Like and subscribe if you want to. But I really just wanted to share that. Remember, you are an infinite being in this body. And so let that come through. However it is, whatever you're passionate about, whatever you feel a spark of, go with that spark and be like, ooh, be curious. And then dabble if you have to. Sometimes dabbling leads to passion. It doesn't have to be anything grandiose or big. It just has to be something that feels really good to you, something that you pour your energy into, and something that you will eventually continue to do. And as far as you can take it, as Bashar puts it, right? And then move on to the next thing. And that's totally fine. Life is always changing. So that's my little spiel for today. Thank you for watching. My body's saying time to go to bed. Okay, thank you for watching. See you guys later. Have a good day. Bye.